Hello everybody, this is my fifth day after my lumbar puncture, and I feel great considering everything I've been through, and the second and third day of curse. So I'm not pain free, but I'm actually able to stand the pain now, and the pain has really moderated, so it's not as severe anymore. Um, I guess a lot of my symptoms are still numbness on the right side of my face and pain, but those are symptoms that I was having before the lumbar puncture, so I can't say it's because of the procedure. But there are some other pain related symptoms that I am getting, and that I know that it's because of the procedure. For example, I'll get this pain in the back of my head that's really intense, and down to my lower part of my neck. And that helps when I lie down, it helps ease off the pain. Um, the back pain, I was having back pain before, and this is a little bit more severe. So there are some side effects that I'm still experiencing after the lumbar puncture that I know that they are because of the lumbar puncture. But like I mentioned, I was having some symptoms also before that as well. I think they just flared up a little bit with the whole procedure. The nauseous feeling I still have from time to time. It'll go away here and then. But overall, after the lumbar puncture, I guess the lumbar puncture was not as bad. Would I ever have it done again? No. I hope they have enough with what they got to diagnose me with MS or with whatever I have, which that's a whole different subject and a whole another story. I'm not hoping it's MS. I'm just saying I hope they have enough with what they got to see what's going on with me. Overall, I guess the procedure was not bad. There is some pain when they do the whole procedure. I was told to lie on my stomach, and then they inserted the needle on my back, lower back. You feel a little bit of stinging at first, and I think that's where they're numbing it up, and then they insert another needle, and they take out what they need to take out with the spinal tap. I felt pressure. I wouldn't say it was painful, because I think as a woman we go through a lot, especially if you have kids. I mean, you're in the hospitals and needles are being stuck in your arms all the time, so it stings. There was some burning. I don't think it was that painful. I think the pain is really after the lumbar puncture, the second day. So my mistake was the first day. They had me lie down an hour to make sure I was going to stay still, make sure I wasn't going to have any major side effects. After that, they let me go home. So when I went home, I decided I was hungry and I wanted to go out and eat. So we went out. I started to feel a little bit of a headache, but I didn't think anything of it. Then I went to my store and I went to go check up on things. I opened some boxes, took out some dresses. I was hanging them up. And one of the employees told me, she said, "You just had a lumbar puncture. You should be resting." And she looked at me very serious, and I thought to myself, it's not that big of a deal. But, I took her advice, and I left, and I came home, and I rested. The second day I had a class, so I didn't want to miss my class. I went to my class, and I think I was there for 2 hours, and I just started to get this horrible headache. I got on my knees, and I was trying to follow along. I got up, I stood up, I lay down when I could. I kept walking out, going to the restroom, trying to pull myself together. The pain was it was unbearable. I couldn't take it. And finally, the instructor came up to me on one of our breaks and said, "You look horrible. you, um, you, what's wrong?" And I told him, I said, "I had a lumbar puncture yesterday." And he said, "What are you doing here? You need to go home." So, sorry, I'm experiencing this headache again. It hasn't happened for a long time, so I'm going to pause for a little bit. So I'm lying down. Lying down helps a lot with the headaches, especially if they start to get really bad. Not as bad as the second day, that's for sure, but it's still there. So long story short, the instructor sends me home. I came home, and I barely made it home. I started losing my vision. I started getting blurry vision. I said to myself, how am I going to drive myself 15 minutes from here? So, note to self, if I ever go through this procedure again, which I really doubt I'll let them, rest. It gets lots of rest. You don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're feeling fine and all of a sudden you're to the point where you cannot even drive yourself home. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. So I barely made it home. I was in so much pain. As soon as I got home, I lied down on my back because I knew that that's the only thing I read that would really help my headache. So that's what I did as soon as I got home, was lie down on my back. Sorry, you're probably looking at my nostrils. So overall, if you're going to do the procedure, if you have to have a lumbar puncture, prepare yourself. Ask questions. Make sure you get prescribed some pain relievers, and know what you're going to do. I mean, you have to know what symptoms you're going to go through so you don't freak out and you don't let anybody pressure you into doing something you don't want to do either. For example, one of the things that I was told that the only thing that was going to take my headache away was a blood patch. And they were very persistent with that. The nurse would tell me that's the only way you're going to get rid of your headaches. And, I said, I don't want to go through this. I don't want a blood patch because I just got through with the procedure where a needle went through my spine. I don't want that needle to go through there again. And then if it doesn't work, run the risk of going back to square one and being that sick again. And I'm not saying you shouldn't get it. I'm just saying that was my decision and I did not want to get it. So I chose not to, and I'm just trying to get through my symptoms the best I can. And so far it's going good. Besides right now, which I just got that headache, but I stopped taking my medication. So the medication has been helping. So some suggestions for lumbar puncture when you get it done. Drink lots of fluid, lots of water. It helps your system. I mean, you have no idea how much good you're doing to your body by helping it that way. And I know you're going to hate it that you have to get up every hour to go urinate, but the benefits in the long run are priceless. So I think keeping hydrated is one of the best things you could do, and that's something I did. I think another thing was not nauseous. If you start feeling nauseous or if you feel nauseated, one thing that my mother told me to do was to drink Pedialyte. So my husband went out and bought me some Pedialyte, and I drank that, and it did help. It really did. I lied on my stomach, and that's what helped the most, was easing that nauseous feeling. Breathing techniques. I would just take deep breaths in through my mouth and just let them out through my nose, through my nostrils, and um, that helps calm your brain down and telling your brain that everything's okay, because when you're taking those deep breaths, you're just really calming down. So don't do it so much that you're going to hyperventilate yourself. Just a little bit, just enough to ease off that pain and that nauseous feeling too. That helped a lot. When you lie in your stomach, make sure you're lying flat. If you saw my first video, which was horrible, I know, but if you saw my first video, you saw that that I had mentioned that we took the big cushions off of my couch and put plywood underneath and then put some blankets over the plywood, and that has helped me keep a straight back. I know maybe some of you think that this is extreme. You're going through the extreme to feel better, but I think we owe it to ourselves. We owe it to our bodies. We push our bodies every day. I mean, the least we can do if you're going through this procedure is give it some rest and take care of yourself and do what you can to make your body feel better. So, and if you're going through any of the side effects, you understand what I mean by you really want to find anything you can to feel better, because it's horrible going through. It really is. So I hope this video helps. I don't like making videos, and I don't like seeing myself in videos or pictures. I'm not a very I'm not a person that has high confidence in herself, so I don't like seeing all that, but that's another story. Anyways, the main reason I made the videos is because when I was looking for some kind of information, I didn't really find anybody that was going through what I was going through, and I just want to help those that are going through the same symptoms and that are going through the same side effects that I am. I just want them to know that, I went through them, I'm okay, you'll survive, and I just wanted to share what helped me and what keeps helping me. So, like I said, this is my 5th day after the lumbar puncture, and I'll keep recording. If you like my videos, then put like on them, and if you don't, then don't put like on them. But anyways, have a great day. Thanks for watching.